Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be doing a quick little fix here on the Ambernic RG35XX. If you don't know what this is, it's basically one of these, a Game Boy, but with emulation. It can also do PS1 and back on home consoles, so like obviously the NES, SNES, PS1, a few other home consoles which slipped my mind as Sega stuff. But then you can also do Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. But there is one fatal flaw with this device, which is the dpad. It loves to press up and down when you press the side to sides. It loves to register those inputs, which is a no-no when you're playing games like Pokemon. You press inside and then suddenly you start going up or start going down, or you're pressing up and you start going left and right. It's just not a good experience. But fear not, there is a very cheap, very quick fix to this situation. First off, you want to make sure you take out any micro SD cards in the side of the device. Next up, you want to get your iFixit kit or similar, and you want I believe it is 0.5 inch hex bolt bit. No, it's the slightly bigger one. 1.3. Nope, even bigger. 1.5. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. You want the 1.5 size like hex bit type bit as your iFixit kit or similar device, and then you just want to take out these 6 screws on the back, obviously making sure the device is also powered down whilst you do this. Just go 1, 2, 3. We keep going. 1, 2, 3. And then the device should just kind of come apart. You might need a bit of a pry tool, and you can start up here by the HDMI port. There we go. Might make some clicky noises, but that's all okay. It's just the plastic clips. You just want to run the plastic pry tool down the sides. It's like my volume button went flying. I'm just going to take that out, and the power and reset button, and put them over there. Now you have the battery hanging off. You can use your thumb or a pry tool. Use both at the same time. Just do not pull on the actual wire itself, because these are little connectors. You're prone to pulling the wire out of the connector rather than the connector out of its housing. Next up, you want to switch your bit to I believe those are size 0. Yeah, size 0. There's 2 under this heat shield, little black screws. Then there is 3 more, one over here by the SD card, one over here in the middle, and one over on the right side of the device, or I suppose left side if it was face up. And I believe that's all the screws. Then you should be able to lift it up by, have I missed a screw? Feels like I've missed a screw. Ah, I have. There's one more down here, hiding in the shadows. And then you should be able to, no, it still feels like I've missed a screw. But I can't see any more screws. Maybe it's just slotted in well. I'm going to unclip the speaker. Perhaps that's what's holding it in. No, it's just stiff because it's been put in there well. So you just want to be careful of this ribbon cable for the screen. You don't actually need to unplug that, because what you can do is you can kind of lift it up a bit like that and then flip it round, and then that saves you unplugging and replugging. So now we have the motherboard facing us as if we were playing the game. And you've got your direction pad here and your ABXY, the menu button, start and select. So basically all you want to do is you want to get some of this black electrical tape. And you basically want to cut a nice square. Sorry, I was just trying to cut the square. You just want to cut a square of electrical tape, just like that, and kind of place it. I've probably made that a bit too big actually. Damn it. Do another one. You just want to cut a rectangle, and basically you just want to kind of cover, not completely cover, but kind of cover the points here. Oh, I still might have done this a little bit too big. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to cut the video here and I'll show you once I've done it. So here's what I've done. I've done a very slight X shape here, and as you can see that's made the bottom pads, the inner pads of each of the directions a lot smaller. So that should, in theory, now mean that there's less sensitivity. So I'm just going to button this all up, at least to the point where we can boot it again, and I'll show you. So you kind of just go opposites, flip the ball back round. All the screws are magnetised to the speaker. Slot the ball back in. quite going back in. There we go. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do up the black screws here so that it's tight against the buttons, just so I can test this quickly. Just going to do up these screws here, this one, is that? I'm missing the menu button. Right, I'm just going to cut here and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, so I have the front assembled as it would be, so just be careful that none of the buttons fall out whilst you are assembling it. Just going to plug, if I can. These are very fiddly. So plug the speaker in. Just be careful when you put the device back together that you don't pinch those cables in the casing, else you will have no speaker. And then we're going to plug the battery back in. Try and do this in a way that doesn't completely block the camera. So that's the battery put back in, and I'm just going to kind of loosely hold it together. Plug my SD card back in. So that's my SD card plugged back in, and I'm just going to use the screwdriver to turn it back on. And we should jump straight back into Pokemon here. Yeah, and that's completely fixed the wiggle. As you can see, there's no, I'm wiggling the dpad up and down there. Up and down still do work, but it's completely fixed the wiggle. That is perfect. So yeah, all that's left to do is pop the buttons back in. So we'll pop in the power and reset button on that side, and we'll pop in the volume button on this side, being careful to put it the right orientation. And clip that back on. Let's just test that the speaker still works. Yeah, and we've still got no wiggle issue. Perfect. A little bit of wiggle, but that's really when I overdo it. So by and large, it's fixed, and I can play Pokemon without having to accidentally go the wrong bloody direction all the time. So I'm not going to make you sit through me doing up the last 6 screws on the outside. You know how to do that. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.